What is going on, IPA fans out there? Welcome back to another video of mine. I'm Josh, and I'll be bringing you my Season 6 Week 2 Magear review for, Week 2. and we're going to be starting off with my match, of course, because you might as well keep the tradition going. And I'll start off with, my match. This week it was up against Ethan, who is definitely one of the most prominent the more prominent players of the IPA this season. And I actually mentioned last week, but yeah, he drafted Vale. And if anybody knows me really well personally, I think Vale's the most busted form of winning in Gen 7, but that's just my opinion. And I was kind of worried about that, but as you can see from his team, he did not bring Ninetales, so no Vale, which is cool. And as you can see, with my team of 6, I brought the Celesteela, Hippowdon, Zard, the Lego, Delmice, and Greninja. I'll go over my team really quick, but you're going to find out it's actually quite bulky. My first mon, I knew I had to bring Celesteela because he has a Mega Zam. He has a Suicune, even though my set can't really touch Suicune if he's sub, but it's still pretty decent check nonetheless. Not to mention it just murders Ninetales. He had a pretty decent amount of mons, which allow for Celesteela to be good. Not to mention it kind of beats Audino 1v1, which I figured might come, which he did bring, so it's a good call on my part. It's a standard set, except I have fire, I have flamethrower, or I have some fire special coverage for Scolipede because it kills after rocks. Yeah, my fire coverage kills after rocks guaranteed. I know that much, and I figured that'd be pretty cool. Not to mention it too kills Excadrill, so I figured there was no reason not to. I could have brought Giga Drain, but it would become a 50-50 on whether he would click sub or Giga Drain. And if you were to get up to +1, Giga Drain might not break a sub, which is insane, so I don't think it really mattered too much. My next set is a Hippowdon. It's like a standard mix set with Whirlwind, Slack Off, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock. It's pretty standard. Kind of stops Excadrill, really stops Jolteon, really stops the Entei. Like, even if I get burned, it's whatever. Unless he's like banded Flare Blitz will do a lot, but that's the exception. And speaking of banded Flare Blitz, I have a defensive Zard to handle Entei. It's enough bulk to actually live an Adamant Scarf Earthquake from Excadrill if I'm at full HP, which is crazy. I'm at Fire Punch, Dragon Claw, Defog, and Roost. I didn't see a need for any other move. I could have brought Thunder Punch, which looking at it, I probably should have, but it's whatever. I felt Defog was cool because I really do not want hazards up in the field. I actually would prefer not to have it at all. So having an option to defog, considering I defog on a lot of things on his team, such as Jolteon, Audino, Entei, if it's locked into a fire move, I figured there was no reason not to run defog. Like I said, I could have ran Thunder Punch, but Dragon Claw does a decent chunk to Suicune anyways. Next is my Scarf Needle Lego. Besides Excadrill, he doesn't have a best. He doesn't have a good check, and then I mean, at least I didn't think so. My friends were like, "Hey, do the Scarf Needle Lego sweeps like game," but looking at his team, with team of Excadrill, Suicune, Audino, and Mega Zam, it's kind of impossible to actually pull it off. So in reality, I should have brought the Cryogonal set that I wanted to bring. I revealed it to Ethan in the chat, but he might not remember. He might not remember the exact set, but if he wants to scroll up and find out, so be it. But for now, I'm not gonna actually say it. I'm gonna prefer to keep it secret. But it was a pretty good set versus the team brought. So yeah, but for now, I'll just explain my neat Lego set. It was Scarf, it had like dual stab, HP fire, because I can't have HP fight him due to the stupid rule with UBs. I hate that rule, but yeah, HP fire, and then I think it was like Grass Knot. Yeah, it was Grass Knot. Yeah, and then next is my AV Delmice. I thought about Lumberry, but Hunter was telling me that you're stalling the inevitable if you run Lumberry, considering you're gonna constantly be switching in the Delmice onto Suicune. So I was like, you know what, you got a fair point. So, and plus I have enough attack to where like a burn power whip does like 33% to a defensive Suicune. So that's always pretty good nonetheless. And then next is a Scarf Greninja to revenge kill Alakazam / a +1 Ment if you were to bring it pretty easily. Not to mention it gives me good momentum with U-turn. And Hydro Pump, once he loses his water resist, hits him pretty hard. Looking at his team, like besides Suicune, he doesn't have a lot of switch-ins to Hydro Pump. So without further ado, let's just get into the game in 3, 2, 1, and boom. So I'm going to decide to lead off with my Greninja as he leads with the Suicune. I can just get momentum with the U-turn. I find out that he's a pretty defensive set with that U-turn damage, and he goes for sub. So I definitely know this is a Suicune set, which is you know, cancer, because you can stall out my power whips, but it's okay. I can somewhat deal with this. He's gonna go for a straight Scald here. I'm kind of hoping he doesn't burn me turn 1 because that'd be most preferable, but he does burn me. So I do get the residual on me immediately, which is like not the best in the world, but as long as I'm able to chip this down thoroughly throughout the game, it's fine. But it was at this point when I realized, like, wow, like my Celesteela can't really do much because he has sub. My Charizard gets to a kill by a +1 Scald. Hippowdon obviously is a Hippowdon, the ground type. Nihilego can't touch, as a +1. Dhelmise is burned, Greninja obviously can't do anything. So I'm like, whoa, dude, this is like, this Mon kind of like can easily 6-0 me by itself if it gets up enough Calm Mind. So I have to try to play this well. I go into my Zard because I want to get the Mega off and hit this with a Dragon Claw to find out what his spread is. I have absolutely no attack, so like this isn't gonna do anything. And he does decide to click Calm Mind. I do calc, and like a non-invested Scald will to kill my spread, even though I am a very bulky set. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to reply with this with a AV Dhelmise, and you know, there's only 12%, and this I don't even, the burn isn't bad because my attack does half, but like I took the residual immediately, which is like the most annoying part. So at this point I've realized he has to protect, he has to sub, he has to Calm Mind and the Scald. So I know his whole set. He Mono Water, which is like, why wouldn't you reverse me? Like, I don't have a water immunity, I don't have like a Vaporeon, so it's a good idea. Anyways, he goes into the Entei, and at this point I kind of realize this thing can put on a fair amount of pressure, but I gotta go to my Please Commit Suicide, the Greninja. I don't get burned, so like it doesn't really matter too much. But you know, I don't get burned. And at this point, I don't know if he wants to overpredict me because I have already clicked U-turn once, and I'm most likely gonna click it here again, considering Suicune is a great water resistant, gets a free Calm Mind or a sub up. Essentially, if I do click Hydro Pump while also gaining initiative, if I stay in and click Hydro Pump and U-turn. So I figured there was a decent chance he could actually like play me here, but he just makes a safe play in Suicune, so I do get initiative. And at this point, I gotta hope he makes a really bad set of plays here. As you can see, I'm not Sandstream, I'm actually Sandforce because I don't want to give Excadrill a Sand Rush boost late game if I could. And anyways, I'm going to get up my rocks here because rocks are kind of important for the Entei, and plus chipping down his team. He's gonna click Scald outright, which is alright. Doesn't kill me due to my mixed set, which is, you know, cool. I'm not gonna click Slack off as he clicks Calm Mind here. So what he might be thinking is that I don't have Whirlwind because he might think I would have clicked. He might be thinking, oh, he didn't click it there, so maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe he's like Toxic, Earthquake, Slack off, Stealth Rock. So I'm gonna hope he clicks Substitute here, as he actually does. He could have smacked me with Scald and done like 60-something%, but he fails to do so, which is, you know, fantastic. Sorry about that, a pause. Anyways, let's go back to the last turn. He clicked Sub as I clicked the Whirlwind, and his Entei actually gets sent in here. So I'm thinking, if he's gonna go for the Sacred Fire burn, there's a 50% chance I kill him here, 50% chance that he lives due to me being burned. And so I'm like, okay, just click Earthquake, let's see what happens. He doesn't have a ground immunity, so there's no reason not to. He clicks Z Inferno and does nothing, and I kill him off. So I'm up 6-5 early as I go up to about 50%, which is sweet. He now goes back in 6 seconds, and yeah, this Mon is a major pain, but this thing is already at about half. But the only problem is that he can get up a Calm Mind here, and then protecting my Dhelmise, I go up to 62%. But as long as Dhelmise is alive, I know I can essentially stop this thing because, you know, Scald plus Burn is only doing about 15% each turn. So I have about 4 turns left with this Pokemon, give or take. He clicks Protect here, and I know he's gonna click Sub, so I have to just pray that I don't miss any Power Whips. Otherwise, I could be in a fair amount of trouble actually. So I click Power Whip here. I know he's gonna click Protect, so I think I click Earthquake here. That way I just don't waste any PP because I never know I may need it. So I click Earthquake. Good play on my part there. So at this point, I know he's either gonna get smacked by a Power Whip or he's gonna go down to 25%. And he does click Sub, goes down to 25%. And now I know he's gonna click Protect here. I believe I still click Power Whip because I have no reason not to. Yeah, I do. Alright, so at this, now he's gonna go for the roll here, which I don't think it was. I think I lived no matter what. So I live with 1%. Click Power Whip, and I put him down to 1% as well. So compilation of 1% right there on turn 20. And at this point, he can click protect and go up to 15, go up to around I believe 13. I think yeah no he would go up to enough HP to live rocks, and then he can switch. But he realizes that Suicune's kind of worthless. So the biggest pain to my team is actually gone now. And remember the EV spread that I mentioned in the beginning of the video? Yeah, I live in Adamant, Scarf, EQ from Extra from full unless I get crit, and Fire Punch will send this thing packing. So I'm going to just click that here. Earthquake does nothing, and Fire Punch will just kill this thing off. So that's the first time a specific I kid you not, I was thinking in my team builder, okay, I'm going to run enough bulk to live an EQ from Extra no matter what. Like if he leads with it as like a sash lead or something, I can take it down to sash, take an earthquake, and you would not get rocks up, something like that. But I also figured, oh, if I'm at full HP, because I have a decent way of getting hazards off the whole game, and he only has 2 wave hazards. He had I believe it was Cradilly and Extra. Those are his only 2 rockers. So I was like, okay, there's a decent chance that I'm going to be at full for the most part against Extra. Just run enough bulk, and boom, it worked out. So at this point, I don't want this thing to get up a free sub or a combine, so I'm just going to let this thing die. He actually clicked Focus Blast. If I got the declaw off, I think I would have... I actually don't know what the damage roll was on that, but Scarf Ninja would have been able to click U-turn and just get initiative, and that would have been nice, but now I just gotta click U-turn here. I know he's not going to... Actually, no, I clicked Dark Pulse. I clicked Dank Pulse. That's my bad, because even if he went to Auto, I have a really great switch into this, being my Celesteela. Even if he doubles into Jolteon, predicting that, it's fine. He clicks Swish, so good play on this part. And now he's gonna switch out into the Jolteon Mayhem. Shout out to Shady, the old Jolteon nickname. It's been a good minute since I've seen that. So I'm actually gonna click Protect here, and I find out he's toxic. So I'm going to go into my new Lego next turn. I get to find out if he's not choiced here. And I get to find out if he's Life Orb. He is not choiced, and he's not Life Orb. So I don't know if he is, he doesn't seem to be zap plate from that damage, which is, good. And speaking of not good, this is a Beast Boost Mega Alakazam, which is like something you never ever want to see. Anyways, I go into my Celesteela. This thing is here to counter this Alakazam. He makes a good play. This was actually a choke on my part. This was like the worst play I could make, but I click Leech Seed. In theory, Heavy Slam was my best play because it does around, I believe, 38% to a Jolteon, and Auto takes around 40% from a Heavy Slam. So I had no reason not to click Heavy Slam there because I think Heavy Slam is actually a roll to kill after Rock. So this was just a bad play on my part. So now he gets a free Calm Mind up here. I thought he might have just gone. I thought he might want to go for Focus Blast there and try to chip me down. But at this rate, if he gets a crit Focus Blast, it may be able to kill me. I think it's a roll from where I'm at, but I could be wrong. And at this point, I'm just going to click Heavy Slam. Either I, get crit and die, or live about 30% if it's not crit, or I kill him off here by a miss. And lo and behold, I miss, and I'm going to be at about full. As at this point, Ethan knows it's a good game. He can't beat my Celesteela with what he has. Thunderbolt's going to do 44%, which is ridiculous. Like, the fact that it did that little is absolutely insane. I can't emphasize enough. I thought he was going to hard switch into Auto there, so I didn't click Protect. I just click Heavy Slam. And that's going to do around 44%. Yeah, there it is. So, which, again, that proves why I should just click Heavy Slam on the Alakazam earlier. That wouldn't have forced that position to where he would have been able to get a free Calm Mind up. My Celesteela would have been in a much... it would have been a situation where the odds of coming out pretty healthy was in my favor, but under that circumstance, there's a decent chance that my Celesteela wouldn't have been able to just 1v1 his whole team. But he realizes that he can't break this, so he's just going to click the X button, and that's a good game. So another 4-0 win in our favor. So we're starting off the season with absolute power, that's for sure. And again, Celesteela being the last mod on the field for my side, so that's 2 games in a row. So Celesteela proving why I drafted it. I was the very first pick in the draft, and I was like, is Celesteela even worth a first round pick? And the first pick of the first round, I picked Celesteela, and so far it's been proving me wonders. So I'm not disappointed. So anyways, we're going into the next game. So I'll pause real quick and I'll be right back. And bada beam, bada boom, we are back with 2 1-0 teams so far as of week 2. It's Cole versus Flame Dog 3. Flame, after drafting a real meme team to say the very least, he definitely has a more serious squad. I definitely covered that last week. Bringing up the old favorites, he has Coop, Icy Hot, and Gliscor, along with the Scream this week, and I believe Roserade and Infinite are his newcomers for this week. And Cole, he brought Crobat and Passimian as his newcomers this week. So 2 new bonds for both teams coming up this week. Passimian and then Crobat being interesting for him, and for Flame, Infernape, and Roserade being interesting for him as well. And Roserade is another one of Flame's classics because he just loves that mon, and he loves the utility he can serve, along with items such as Assault Vest, and I actually don't know what other set he runs besides Assault Vest, so it'll be interesting to see what he brings. So without further ado, let's get into the match in 3, 2, 1, and boom. So Flame's gonna lead with Roserade as Cole leads with Starmie. So this is a really good position for Flame, but he's gonna prove to have like real cojones and just click Toxic Spikes outright. And I don't know if this had the Pyapa Berry, but I at the same time, it's not like he clicked Giga Drain, so I'm not sure if he felt confident in the fact that he could live a Psyshock, but he definitely just played Cole there, surprisingly enough. And speaking of plays, turn 2, he clicks him with the Technician, I'm gonna guess Technician HP Ice, and that just blows it away. So just like that, the Zygarde, and whenever the Zygarde dies, it's a great sign for you, because Zygarde's a broken mon. So this is really good for Cole, for Flame, but at the same time it's good for Cole, because he now realizes that this Roserade does not have Technician boosted HP Fire, which I would think he would have versus his team, but nonetheless very well played by Flame. So Cole realizes that this thing cannot touch this thing with a 10-foot pole, so spikes are going to go up, but Infernape now gets the initiative as he's going to get up rocks here, but to no avail. The Starmie actually forces this thing out like 100% of the time, and Cole's going to get rid of Hazard. So Cole now has the initiative in this game, getting up a little spike, not to mention that the Roserade is paralyzed and Hazards are gone, so Cole is still somewhat in this game. He realizes Ferrothorn is a 100% safe switch, so he's going to make a good read, and he's going to click Toxic on the Zapdos. So a wall which could be kind of annoying for Cole, since the only mon that can somewhat hit this hard is Mega Dancy. This is a really good thing for Cole, but I'm going to expect for him to think he has the Heat Wave, so he realizes that, so he goes into Passimian, I guess, in the Heat Wave, but there's a whole bunch of doubling here, so 2 straight doubles, back to back to back, as Gliscor gets his Toxic Spikes up, Toxic Orb, as Cole gets the Diancie, so this is a just extremely interesting set of plays by both players, and in the end, I would say Flame definitely got the upper hand here, as Cole could have probably chosen to kill this thing with Moonblast, but he chooses to get Rocks up. He feels like that'll be more important to win this game. Earthquake does not kill. Flame will go for the Protect to see if this thing actually has any special coverage, but he does have the Moonblast, which will smack this thing. But he does hit him with the Moonblast to 69%, and that will kill him. The reason why I say he could have killed this thing is because Moonblast definitely would have killed even after Protect with the Toxic Orb. So but like I said, I guess he really valued Rocks in this game, considering he has 2 Pokemon that are weak to him, not to mention he has a Spike up for the grounded mons. It was a pretty good call. Anyways, Flame is going to make the offensive switch and make sure he's going to make the offensive switch into his Zapdos instead of protecting. And good call by by Flame. He realized that this thing could potentially be a setup set with, I guess, Nasty Plot. He realized that he needed to make the offensive switch, is what I'm trying to say, because you don't just send in a Crobat on a Gliscor. It's something that doesn't really make sense unless you're like Natural Gift Ice. But since he already revealed Protect, you wouldn't go for that immediately. But anyways, Cole's gonna go for the Sludge Bomb. He's gonna try to go for game, but he fails to kill, and Crobat is just going to die to a T-Bolt. I don't think that could matter because he was offensive, obviously. So just like that, Cole is now down 6-3. So this isn't looking too good for him. But the Zapdos is essentially dead, so he does have that much going for him. And Passimian is going to actually outspeed, so this shows that was definitely a more bulky Zapdos. And this proves to be life for Passimian. And now Infernape's going to come in and actually click Z, I'm going to guess Close Combat. And due to Passimian's like great bulk, as like base 100 HP and like base 100 something defense, that's going to bounce off of it. And Passimian takes down 2 Mon to fit before it goes down itself. So Passimian proving to be a really good Mon for Cole this week. But nonetheless, he's still down 4-2. Ain't looking too good. As Hunter's going to, not Hunter, Flame's going to go for the Protect on the Gardevoir. As, no, Substitute, excuse me. Yeah, either way, he still gets to scout for the move. He does find out that he is Gardevoir, so this Gardevoir is going to die. And he clicks HP Fire. He has Aqua Berry, which is a cool idea. But if he was Focus Blast, this would have died. So I guess he realized that Flame was going to go for the much safer approach with his coverage for Ferrothorn. So Cole realizing that, he definitely knew that Akaberry was the better set. So good call on his part. Anyways, next is Gliscor, and he's going to click Roost. He needs to be healthy to take on the Ferrothorn. Well, most of his team at that matter. And look at that Moonblast damage. It definitely won't live a Hydro Pump, as Cole actually chooses to click here, but he misses, and he does complain about it in the chat. Why, I actually don't know, because that would have ate that for breakfast. Anyways, he's going to click Giga Drain here, and then this is the play that definitely wins Flame the game here, as Cole's going to double into the Starmie, predicting I guess the Gliscor, because Gliscor is a really good middle ground check to Ferrothorn. But I guess Flame, seeing that through, clicks Shadow Ball, and Starmie dies. So just like that, yeah, just like that, Cole is going to lose. And look at that damage. I guess Shadow Ball was a pretty good middle ground play, because it looks like a roll to actually kill with Gyro Ball. But Flame doesn't want to lose differential. He realizes this game is in the bag, so he's going to go into his Gliscor, take a crit Gyro Ball like it's his damn job, click Earthquake, and that's a good game. So Flame knocking off the reigning IPA Minior champion Cole, as Cole falls to 1-1, and Flame goes up to 2-0 for the first time in a while. I can't remember the last time Flame was 2-0 and something. I'm sorry, buddy. But to no avail. The Flame does have the week 3 curse coming up. He was showing me his record. I think he's like 3-14 in week 3 games. So his you can do the math on that one, math majors. But it's definitely not a good percentage. So we'll see if Flame is able to have the odds line up in his favor next week as he goes up against whoever he's going up against. I haven't actually checked who, but nonetheless, I do believe Flame has a pretty decent chance. He's working with Mons that he loves to work with. And speaking of Mons he loves to work with, Kirim never hit the field once, and that's kind of funny. And Cole, I have no doubt that he'll bounce back. Typically when he loses, he likes to come back with a vengeance. So I have no doubt that he'll definitely come back with a good amount of authority next week, whoever he plays. I need to check. So anyways, that's all for this game, and we will be moving on to the next game, so I'll pause and I'll be right back. And bada bing bada boom, we are back with Matt versus Michael, 2-on-1 teams, after starting with some 1-0 teams, 2 straight 1-0 teams actually, with me and Ethan as well. We're going to an 0-1 matchup for week 2, so both teams trying to look for a win, obviously, and Matt bringing Audino plus Megalodius, and I'm not gonna lie, I was looking at this replay and I was like, what the heck, why is there 2 Audinos? Because I know it's Mega Latios, but it turns out he's also Mega Audino, but I guess he just has to carry the Mega Stone of Audino, but he doesn't have to Mega. So he gets the luxury of, I guess, having Audino, but you have to carry the Mega Stone, so you don't get like leftovers and such. But you know, it's fine. I was just a little confused at first. He also has a Keldeo, Skarmory, Sneasel, and Savali. So coming to him this week, I believe his team looks the same. I don't recognize anything that wasn't there last week. But for Michael, I definitely see that there's a Venusaur, a Xatu, and the Mimikyu. That I didn't see any of those 3 last week. So a pretty different team from Michael, and for Matt, it looks the same for the most part. So without further ado, let's just get right into the game. So 3, 2, 1, boom. So he's Matt's gonna leave with the Sneasel, as he leaves. Michael leaves with the Mimikyu, getting a pretty good matchup to start. But as we see for the 2nd week in a row, we have a Savali bug. So that's always kind of funny. So because I guess when you have 2 Zygon matches in a row, you gotta bring Savali bug, aka the best counter in the game. Not really, that's Tangrowth. Anyway, so we click U-turn. Nice stab U-turn, doing 22%. As he goes back into Sneasel, I thought he was gonna Pursuit Trap, but he doesn't, because I guess he sees Ice Crash is a pretty good play, considering he's only switching as a Volcanion, which I'm sure doesn't want to get knocked off unless it's Z move. But he breaks the Disguise and Mimikyu super early, so this is looking really good for Matt, because if this thing Substitute being gone, it's good for mons like Latios, it's good for mons like Keldeo, and that's kind of it for the most part. And I guess Sneasel, if it gets weakened enough. Anyways, next he's going to go for Light Screen, so this proves to just be a fully support Mimikyu with, I don't know which moves exactly. So far we've only seen Shadow Claw and Light Screen. Next we're going to see Iron Heckmire to Skarmory, not Brave Bird, which I guess is interesting. Next he's going to go into Audino. He's trying to pivot around, obviously, and we see Sunny Day here. We don't see an item on the Xatu, and we see a Venusaur, so we definitely know what's about to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. He clicks Growth, and at this point I'm sure Matt realizes he's about to get boned. So Here comes another growth, and Matt's going to make a decent play. He needs to pivot around the sun turns, otherwise he is going to just lose a lot of his team. So first he's going to go into Keldeo and then just sack it off to do Sludge Bomb, because he really doesn't have much of another choice in him. Okay, sorry, I had to pause. Anyway, so yeah. Keldeo just died. He sends out the Sneasel, and Sneasel goes for Ice Shard, fails to kill. That looks like banded damage looking at that, and Sneasel just dies. So now he goes into Audino, and Audino being the bulky monster it is, will live a Sludge Bomb. That's just a thing. And Knockoff will kill the Venusaur. So Matt only came out losing about 2 Pokemon. If you can count Audino as like 2 3/4, but Audino's an Audino. So anyways, Mew's going to come in, he sends out the Mega Latios, and this thing is now going to start going for Combines. Actually, he goes for Sub first, reveals the Rock Polish on the Mew. So now we see Dazzling Gleam, so I would expect this to be Double Dance, but I could be wrong. As he just continues to click Dazzling Gleam, I don't know if he just doesn't have a Nasty Flat, because I can't imagine running, I can't imagine him just running Rock Polish to 3 attacks, considering, you know, Psychic and Dazzling Gleam hits everything in the game pretty neutrally, besides like Steel, of course. But since your Skarmory is a Steel type, if you get enough special attacks, it doesn't matter. So for the most part, we're just gonna see these two mons go at it with Dazzling Gleam and Calm Mind. For some reason, I really don't know why this happens, but he goes into the Mimikyu finally, as you get the Sub up. And this Mimikyu is just going to die to a Psyshock, so that's always fun. And I'm going to save, well, actually not yet. This is going to die to a crit Psyshock, so there you go. And next he goes into Volcanion. This will take a Psyshock. And next he's going to click Flame Charge, and then he's going to click Steam Eruption and still fail to, you know, break the Sub, as the Volcanion now dies. So now it's 3-2, and he's going to go into his Mew, and I'm going to save you all a lot of time here. Let me just go to turn 49, alright? This thing is now +6, and Psyshock is not going to kill his Mew, so I saved you all a lot of trouble there. So that takes about 75% from a +6 Psyshock, which is insane, but Mega Latios is Mega Latios. Excuse me. Oh god, that would tickle my throat. Anyways, Mew now dies to the Psyshock, and Zydog will break the Sub. It'll do that much, but unfortunately, Latios is going to get the 6-0 sweep for the most part, and that'll be a good game. So, well played by Matt. He realized that his team couldn't break this Mon, so he just went outright for the sweep, and it worked out in his favor. So, you know, well played, well played. Anyways, we'll pause and get into the next game, so I'll be right back. And bada bing, bada boom, we have definitely one of the closer matches of the week with Marcus versus Max, as both teams are 0-1. Again, another 0-1 matchup, so we're keeping up with the pattern. And you know, Max brought his team a Mega Gallade, he brought the Tyranitar again, brought the Rachi again, brought the Gastro again. He does have the Sylveon, the Heracross, I'm pretty sure that wasn't there last time. And for Marcus, he has the Gothitelle, the Rupt, the Virizion, the Clef, the Thunders, and the Registeel. I would say what he didn't have last time, but I actually can't remember for the life of me. I know he had Clefable, I know he had the Rupt, I think he had the, he had the Thunders, because it failed to kill with Stunfisk, and at +2, and I want to say he had Registeel, maybe, no, I don't think he did, I don't know what, and yeah, no, I think he only had those 3 if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, so, without further ado, let's just get right into the games. 3, 2, 1, and boom. So, Max leads off with the Mega Gallade, as he leads off with the Registeel. He's going to now go into the Nuzzles and Kisses, as something I should actually mention. Marcus wanted me to mention this. This is a Grassy Seed Gothitelle, as you're going to find out with this knockoff. Grassy Seed was meant to get the +1 defense boost on the Bulu's Grassy Terrain, and afterwards you would be able to, I think you wanted to get screens, then you would covet, I guess, and then you would get the item off a certain mon. I guess it works the same way as Steve, I didn't know that, but go figure. And yeah, no, it was a really interesting set. I was like, wow, okay. And his Virizion has Aerial Ace for the Heracross, if you're wondering. And that's a Scarf Clefable with Fire Blast and Moon Blast, so keep that in mind. He clicks Knockoff, does 49%, and that's something, to say the very least. And we now know another Knockoff won't kill due to already losing an item. he now gets a free reflect, and Rupt gets a free switch in. So he gets his Mega off as he's going to go for Fire Blast and miss. It doesn't really matter. I'll hit that put in range of HP Grass, so it's okay. Next he's going to go into Verzion, which was a pretty ballsy play because if he got Skull Burn, I would have sucked. As now he's going to go into Registeel on the Rachi, and he gets his rocks up here essentially. As I believe he clicks that here. Yeah, pretty much the freest rocks of his life. So now he's going to go back into the Nuzzles and Kisses and sacks it. Essentially, he was playing a 5-6 game the moment the game started due to, man, it wouldn't let me pause. Due to the reason he didn't bring Bulu, he was off to a 5-6 game because Gothitail didn't do anything with the team he brought. The set was 100% based on him bringing Bulu, which I don't necessarily agree with, but unless he 100% thought Bulu was coming, then I guess that's a fair assumption. But anyways, he clicks Close Combat, shows out to be Life Orb, and Gastron drops a Toxic. Pretty ballsy play because if you click Leaf Blade, that thing was dying. But I guess Max realized that, you know, Leaf Blade was not the play to make there. Anyways, I apologize for my voice. For some reason, my throat just isn't working. Anyways, I don't agree with the Leaf Blade play here. In my opinion, your play was definitely Close Combat. He doesn't really have a great switch in, and he wasn't going to go into something that was neutral to it. But because he would have been able to get big damage on this Rachi, so. But whatever. Verzion is going to be forced out here essentially. He's going to go into his Mega Camerats. Essentially, a pretty easy Jirachi counter. Okay, sorry, I had a cough. So yeah, he goes in he clicks Wish, and he's going to be able to get a Wish up on something as he goes into Sylveon. And he clicks Earthquake, which is interesting because the only reason why he would have Earthquake is for the Gastron. And if you think about it, if you want to hit, Sylveon, and if you want to hit Sylveon really hard, you might as well run Iron Head, I guess, but hey, so be it. So he's going to go into Registeel as he clicks Wish. Marcus is relieved by the fact that this isn't Specs, which is, you know, cool. And Gastron has more than 100 hit points, and he lives, and he gets back his Wish. So, not the best for Marcus because you kind of want this thing dead. But he makes a pretty good play. Clicks Earth Power on the thing, he gets the immunity. Now he's going to go into to the camera and gets the initiative on the Sylveon. Sylveon can't necessarily touch this unless, you know, Hyper Voice will chip it, but you can't touch it. So he's going to reveal Will-O-Wisp. So now this has, we know this has Fire Blast, Earthquake, and Will-O-Wisp, which is, you know, a pretty cool set. Fire Blast is going to bounce off the Sylveon, and if you would have had Iron Head here, I think, I'm pretty sure that killed, but his last move was HP Grass, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, anyways, he's now going to click Wish. The Will-O-Wisp now goes off into Sylveon, and Marcus is going to make a really good play here. Since Gallade has amazing, has really good defenses as a Megas, he realizes that Gallade can come in here essentially freeing its HP back up. So he's going to burn the Gallade and make Gallade essentially useless. So Marcus making the play he needs to make to come back in this game for sure. As obviously he is down 5-6, but as I mentioned, he was already down 5-6 the moment the game started, so nothing has really changed. Next he's going to go into Gastrodon, and he's going to pretty much sack it off here to the Fire Blast plus HP Grass combo. So it is going to be a 5-5 game, so Marcus is working with what he has. As Gastrodon is going to go down, but next here comes Sylveon. Sylveon could probably beat this 1v1, but the fact that it can just eat Fire Blast plus Earthquake for breakfast, but no. Marcus is going to make the really good play here. He knows this needs to protect, so he's going to go into Thunderous. Here goes to protect. Now Marcus is going to click Nasty Plot as the Sylveon goes for the Heal Bell, which I don't really agree with, but I guess it's an okay play. As now there is a plus to a Thunderous in the field, and now Marcus is he is Z-move Thunderous. We're going to find out later on, and realizing that Protect is a pretty potent play at this moment. He's not going to click the Z-move, he's going to click T-Bolt, but in my opinion, if you're going to predict the Protect, you might as well click Nasty Plot again, but you know, either way, this was still a really good play because Sylveon is now dead. And just like that, Marcus now has a really strong hold on this game. Man, if my quality on this video is gonna be bad because of my voice, I'm gonna kill myself honestly, but it's okay. We're gonna work with what we have. Anyways, so he's gonna show off the obvious Scarf T-Tar, as Marcus is pretty much forced to switch because this thing is a win con for him. And Max tries to get him with the please miss Focus Blast, but We are smart, man. We don't fall for that. Anyways, Registeel comes in and he's going to click Seismic Toss, and then he's going to eat this close combat from Gareth for some reason. Anyways, I had a pause. So, anyways, we're back to the thing. Here comes Gallade. Here comes Seismic Toss. Pretty good stuff. Anyways, watch this close combat just bounce off this Registeel like it's its damn job. This was cool. This was really cool to see. Shit. Anyways, okay. So, anyways, he reveals Iron Head here, and which is kind of funny because I guess he realized Iron Head would do more at -1. So, good on Marcus's part. Anyways. The Gallade's almost dead to rocks, but not quite. If he would have taken one more percentage of sand, which he was going to try to do with the Protect, which was a good play on Marcus's part. Next he's going to go into the route because of Camera essentially always gets a free switch in on the Rachi, but here comes this why Rachi is the greatest mount of all time. He's going to click Zen Headbutt, try to get a flinch but fail. He's going to get burned, but it doesn't matter because, you know, he's going to get the 40% Zen Headbutt flinch here. Due to the burn nerf, burn doesn't matter. Because if you get flinches, you win the game anyways, right? He flinches the thing with Iron Head, so Marcus realizes what's going on here, so he has to get up on out of here. He's going to go into the Registeel. Iron Head is going to do 4%, so Registeel looking pretty comfortable, but due to this Rachi having Wish, this doesn't necessarily beat this 1v1, which is, you know, ridiculous. So this is a ridiculous Rachi set, because we're going to find out this is also T-Wave right here, actually. So this is a T-Wave Wish, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt Jirachi, which is actually the most disgusting set you could possibly bring to any game, at that matter. Not even just League. If you bring it to the ladder, that's also nasty. That's gross. But he realizes that this Thunders can, you know, sit up on this team for days. But here comes the play of the game for Marcus. He's going to realize that T-Tar is a really obvious switch, and Focus Blast, boom, baby, boom, boom, boom. So that was possibly the play of the game, as Marcus now goes up 5-3. This is a obvious Scarf Heracross, so he brought Scarf T-Tar plus Scarf Heracross, which makes a lot of sense versus his team for sure. So Marcus realizes that, like, once again, this is a win con. You cannot just you can't just sack it to a Mon, which, you know, not having well, I mean, this could have Moxie, or this could have what's the other ability, Guts, but he doesn't want to risk losing his Thunders while giving this thing Moxie. But he's going to give him Moxie anyways because he loses camera ups. Seeing Moxie pretty much proves that this is Scarf Moxie. So that was a good play on Marcus's part to realize what kind of set this was while being able to sack him on, which in reality didn't do anything since it was stored in everything and probably died to 10 headbutt. So, good play. Anyways, once again, he's going to find out he's now really going to find out this is a Scarf Heracross because it outspeeds the Scarf Fable. As he's going to make a really good play as he goes into Jirachi on the Fire Blast and takes a good amount of damage. And he's going to go for the Fire Blast here. I don't really agree because Wish was his play, but he decides not to click Wish. He clicks the Iron Head and gets a crit, which definitely mattered. That definitely 100% mattered. So that was about as unlucky of a turn as you can get from Marcus. Like, that was actually that was trash. That was absolute trash. Anyways, next is the Verzion. He's going to click Sword Dance, but realizing this is Scarf Heracross, he probably should have clicked the Aerialist. That would have probably outright won him the game, but it's okay. Next, he's going to go into Registeel. So Registeel has now lived 2 close combats from what I must say are 2 very, very super offensive Pokemon. And the fact that Registeel ate both of those hits was pretty funny. He goes for the double protect. He tells me it was because he wanted to take 1 more PP of close combat before he had to pass away. But it's no avail. The 33% chance does not go in his favor. Next is Cloud9. He's going to just click T-Bolt because he has no reason not to. Everything's going to, well, he could accept Nasty Plot on the Jirachi if he wants, but he's just going to, he actually does click Nasty Plot on line TL. As he clicks Zen Headbutt, and this will put it in range of Rock Slide. But he has to get a flinch on the Virizion for this to even matter at all. So it's up 2-1. It's up to Heracross to somehow get a bunch of flinches just 1 flinch to win the game. This will die to Rock Slide, which I was actually kind of surprised it died because Rock Slide's really weak, so I didn't think it actually would kill it. Anyways, here comes the Rock Slide. He needs 1 flinch, and he gets it. And this might be a roll, and he could miss still, but looking at what this game has happened for Marcus, that's not going to happen. And Heracross wins, essentially, so Max has always been known, well, in my opinion, Max has been known for hacking people. He hacked me up the ass last season, week 1. That was a horrible game. And then this week, this was cancer. This was trash. Like, I've never, like, I thought mine was bad, but this was horrible. Like, man, if Marcus wouldn't have gotten so unlucky, he would have won pretty comfortably. But what can you do? Max is going to end up pulling the win, but this is the game we choose to play. So what can you do? But yeah, very, very sad game. So anyways, we're going to pause and we'll be right back with the next game. And bada bing, bada boom, we are back. And with this game we have Tristan versus Lou. Lou coming off a pretty, like, one of the closest games I've seen in a while. Versus Tristan, who proves to be very dominant in league play for the most part. Definitely one of the better players in the IPA. And yeah, as you can see, we get Tristan brought his Stunfisk again. Like I said, it's a mon that you can bring every week because it walls a lot of stuff. Gengar, because Gengar is good. Assaultgore is interesting. Finny, which is you know, a good mon. Lopunny's back, and Celebi making its debut for Tristan. Well, Lou has brought Decidueye this week, and Drapion this week, and everything else is pretty much the same. So without further ado, let's get into the game in 3, 2, 1, and boom. So he's going to leave the Stunfisk to get up his rocks most likely, as he's able to force out the Rabombi immediately, but he clicks Discharge instead. So this thing gets a free switch in, but he's going to set up the go for HP Ice here. You're going to break the sub. And make sure you allow for this thing to not get up in that spot against you, which is, you know, always good. Now he's going to drop a Toxic on the Thunders, meaning even if he goes for sub and he clicks, let's say, Rocks or Discharge, he's okay. But he goes for Bulk Up, so this proves to be a Bulk Up set instead of a Nasty Plot set, which is interesting for sure. As he's going to continue to attack the Stunfisk, which is interesting because HP Ice plus Toxic is going to put him into a really low amount of HP. As he goes for Knockoff once again, fails to kill the Stunfisk. HP Ice puts this thing in range of Toxic, and Stunfisk 1v1s 8 Thunders for the second week in a row. So, boom. Here comes the Garchomp. Stunfisk is going to be forced to switch because you want to keep it as a stack for something else, most likely. Celebi comes in, and Tristan's going to make the really hard read as he knows the Drapion's coming in. So he clicks the Earth Power. He realizes this thing is probably not Scarf, so he's going to click Giga Drain, and that'll finish off the Drapion. So well played by Tristan there. He's up 6-4 now, looking really good. He goes into Ribomb, be nasty. This thing proves to be Tanga Berry, just to take a Bug Buzz most likely, and he will show off the T-Wave here. So he's able to, you know, paralyze the Decidueye. And as you can see, the tech was specifically made to counter a Quiver Dancing set, which is, you know, always cool. Anyways, he goes for Spirit Shackle, and he goes into Gengar here, which is interesting because if he has Sucker Punch, this could probably die, but he doesn't click it, so he doesn't have it most likely. So Gengar kills the thing. It's now 5-3. Here comes Nibbles, the Garchomp. He's able to safely click Earthquake because Gengar obviously no longer has Levitate, which is unfortunate. Anyways, here comes the Finny. Finny's able to eat any hit for the most part. But he's going to go into the Arcanine, which is going to take a Moonblast, and this thing will prove to have Surf. And Surf will, you know, just kill off the Arcanine here. So Finny claims the kill. Tristan is now up 4-2. Here comes Garchomp. He's going to live the Moonblast because Garchomp is a pretty bulky mon himself. Moonblast is, you know, Earthquake just bounces off the Finny, and Moonblast also, you know, bounces off Garchomp. But nonetheless, Moonblast will prove to easily to kill the Garchomp. He is now up 4-1. Last mon Rabombi. He's gonna hope for another miracle like last week, but to no avail. This definitely has Haze, so this isn't a fun time for Rabombi. He's gonna continue to Quiver Dance a couple times, but Tristan is going to just continue to click Haze until the Tapu Fini dies, and he's going to go into Rabombi and win that way. Now, you can't simply just click Fake Out to win because this does have Shield Dust, so you can't just Fake Out and flinch it because, you know, you're going to die if you do that. So, well played by Tristan. The whole game, he definitely had total control. Lou definitely just couldn't get any advantage. Like, the moment Thunders got 1v1 by the Stunfisk, it just wasn't any good. So good game to Tristan. We're gonna move on to the next game, so I'm gonna pause and be right back. Anyways, here we are with Jarrett versus Gareth. Again, 2-on-1 teams going up against each other. For Gareth, he decided to bring the Alola Marowak along with the Shaman this week. Well, for new mons, I'm mentioning, by the way. And Jarrett decided to bring a Zelf, and Garbodor this week, as the rest are the same, I'm pretty sure. So, without further ado, let's just get into the game in 3, 2, 1, and boom. So he's gonna lead with the Tapu Koko, as it does a pretty good job versus his entire team. He leads off with the Kyurem, as he's going to just hard switch here in case this is like Scarf Earth Power, which is a good play, as he goes into the Elefunk. So now he's going to click U-turn, break sturdy on the Donphan, which is always fantastic. Go into Shaman and eat a Fire Fang, which is, it's always okay. He's going to go into Garbodor, and the resist is going to take about 37% from a Seed Flare. And he gets a Spit F trap, meaning Seed Flare will kill this thing next turn. Then he's going to go into Zard, take a Seed Flare once again. And he gets another Spit F drop, and Jarrett's going to make the safe play here and read the HP Rock and not lose the Speed Tire and go into the Heliolisk, which is definitely a good play on his part. And anyways, so the Heliolisk is on the field, and the obvious switch is the Alola Marowak, so Jarrett's going to take advantage of that. Click U-turn, just do a solid 2%, as here comes the Elefunk. He's going to click Earthquake, and he's going to show to be a speedy Donphan from how Gareth reacted. This must have been like Jolly Max, I don't know, probably not Jolly Max speed, but a considerable amount of speed. Anyways, Volt is going to come out, and it's going to do a decent amount of damage here, surprisingly, about 25%, which is kind of insane. As yeah, now here comes the Mega Scizor, who's going to get completely frozen by this by the Ice Beam, and then the HP Fire killed with a crit, which is kind of unfortunate for Gareth, but he's kind of used to it at this point. Anyways, so he's going to just go back into the Tapu Koko. He's going to click Dazzling Gleam into, I believe, Volt Switch, which is at this point kind of just rips apart his team at this point. So Gareth realizes the Tapu Koko is the way to go. As here comes Zardwire versus the Young Mantine. So we all know that Toxic is going to be exchanged by both Mons here, and that's always fun to see. As now we're just going to see a series of plays where the Mantine and Zard are going to click Flamethrower until the Zard does eventually switch, which, as you can tell from this scenario, is preeminent, let's be honest. As he's going to click Roost, here comes the Roost on the Mantine, so they're just proving to be the same Mon at this point. As Jarrett is going to switch here into the Kyurem Black, which is surprisingly takes 25% from I would expect to be a non-invested Air Slash, so that's always pretty good. As here comes the Roost from the Kyurem, so he's proven to have Roost on his offensive wall breakers, which is a good call, because Kyurem with Roost is pretty good. Anyways, here comes the Claw, and the Claw is going to take out the Mantine. Not 3-4. Here comes the Tapu Koko, who's going to essentially claim a kill here no matter what. So here comes the Zard, that takes the Dazzling Gleam, and now here comes the Volt Switch, and that'll kill the Zard. So just like that, it's not 3-3 due to Tapu Koko being what it is. Here comes Shaman, here comes his Elf, and Flamethrower is going to come out, and boom, Shaman is now gone. But this does mean that Crocodile, who I assume to be a Scarf, is not going to click Knockoff and get rid of this thing's Expert Belt. So at this point, he's going to, Garrett's going to have to hope that his Tapu Koko does not get frozen, but since the sun is up, it's impossible to get frozen, so there you go. So now here comes the Dazzling Gleam. This will hit the thing. This proves to be Scarf Helio, but he goes for Dark Pulse, and that'll kill off the Heliolisk. And at this point, Scarf Crook is looking good to sweep, as he's going to click Dazzling Gleam, break it might have been a potential Focus Sash. But here comes the Scarf Crook, and that'll be a GG. So well played by Gareth to come back and win the game for sure. As here comes the Kyurem Black, and it's just going to die to a +1 knockoff. So boom, baby. So yeah, good game to Gareth, good game to Jarrett. Definitely one of the better 1-0s of this week for sure. So anyways, we'll pause and get into the next battle, so I'll be right back. And bada bing, bada boom, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and today we have King versus Josh, the other Josh, Black Josh, yeah. We got King, who's 1-0, Josh, who is also 1-0 after just like kicking Brett's ass, and then we have King, who barely lost to Hunter. I mean, he didn't barely lose, he just got played the whole game for the most part. He didn't play bad, he just got outplayed and outprepped. Anyways, so King, he's looking for vengeance, and Josh is looking to keep his streak going and go to a 2-0 record. So without further ado, let's get into the game in 3, 2, 1, and boom. So King is going to lead with the King School, the Sebastian to get U-turn most likely, but he leads with the the Milk Tank, which might have Fire Punch. So he does choose to switch. And now Rome's going to go for Volt Switch onto the Lilligant. This proves to be a Leftovers Lilligant, which, you know, may prove that it's more of a bulky set. As you will see, he does reveal the Elite Seat here, and Ice Beam's only going to do about 51%, 53%. So the thing does prove to have, I would imagine, some bulk, because it should not live that well. Next, he's going to drop a Toxic onto the Organic Dildo, but unfortunately for King, this is going to pretty much ensure he gets initiative. I mean, that Josh is going to get initiative due to the slow baton pass. As here comes the Mawile, drops the Intimidate. You know, the Scissor was forced to switch. Here comes Dancing Dino, and I helped King with this prep for a decent amount of time, and he didn't think that Iron Head was essential for this matchup, because looking at his team, it's only good for this Rhydon. Like, that's the only mon it's good for. Like, he was showing me all this Pokemon, and like, it doesn't hit anything else. So like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. He probably won't have Iron Head. Lord and behold, he does have it. So that was kind of awkward for King, because he could have sworn it wasn't going to come, and I know I kind of thought it wasn't going to either, but unfortunately this is going to lead to this thing getting knocked off and losing 62%, and that's unfortunate for King. As here comes the thing, this is going to Volt Switch, and this goes down about 69%, and now here comes the Rhydon. This essentially proves that he's going to get rocks up with his Rhydon, which is definitely that's what King wants at this moment in time. As here comes the Lilligant. He could go into his Skuntank, who is Assault Vest, but he wants to preserve as much HP as possible for the Latias, because looking at his team, he doesn't deal well with Victini. You'll see what kind of set Victini is in a moment. Anyways, here comes the thing. This now recovers. He does not want to get his Eviolite knocked off, so he's going to go into the Scizor, but he does prove to click Substitute instead. Now he's going to go into the Rotom Wash, and he's going to simply sack it here to the knockoff, which was interesting considering the Scizor didn't have an item, because we were thinking if we should run like a Pikachunium Z. Actually, no, I think we were Pikachunium Z, but for like Trick Latios. So he can't knock off our item. He doesn't know that though. So we're going to click Flame Charge. We're going to eat this knockoff. Not very well, but we do eat it because of the Cobra Berry. We're essentially going to do some major damage to something. Miltank, even if you are thick fat, will take a lot of damage to this Blue Flare. It gets burned even for extra measure, but it doesn't really matter at all. Unless he would have missed a Blue Flare, which he doesn't, so boom. So Miltank goes down and Latios comes in. If this thing wasn't at full, if this thing would have been at about 32%, this Victini probably swept, because we were Thunder coverage. Anyways, here comes this thing. This is just going to click Pursuit a couple times. Surf does 28%. And I figured his play here was to click Sucker Punch, but King is going to get crit by a Surf. So this thing makes this thing essentially worthless, but to be fair, it wasn't going to do anything for the rest of the game. It was going to, he was probably going to sack this to the Weavile incoming anyways. But he does choose to save it. I'm lying to you. And he goes into Rhydon, decides to sack the Rhydon. So that goes down. He wants to keep Weavile for potential extra aftermath damage on the Mawile. Here comes this thing. He's going to simply just click U-turn because he knows he's going to switch. So he gets initiative on the Organic Dildo. He goes into the Gizmo Duck, and Josh is going to actually click Z Memento here. So he's going to put his Mawile all the way back to full, which is that's exactly where you want to be for Josh at this moment in time, because a full health Mawile is not something you don't want to deal with. Like, let's face it. Anyways, here comes the Mawile, going to go to full and take Rock's chip, but that's okay. Here comes the U-turn, does a clean 4%. Here comes the Skuntank, which, like I said, he probably preserved it for this moment. Luckily, he doesn't miss a Fire Blast. If he would have missed a Fire Blast, it would have just been... he wouldn't have lost, because obviously he has Scizor, which is built to handle a non-Fire Fang Mawile. But it would have just taken more time to deal with. Anyways, here comes this. He's going to click Roost. As he clicks Knockoff here, he finds out we are a Z move, which I believe was Pikachunium Z. He clicks Roost. Player Off does more than Knockoff, which is, you know, cool. Bullet Punch now comes in, does 10%. Then he's going to click Player Off again. We now go down to 23%. Josh wants to save this. He now goes into I am the Weavile. As we are going to click Bullet Punch. So King, I guess he understood that Bullet Punch was just his no drawback play. Here comes the thing. He's going to switch into the Gizmo Duck, and I believe this actually clicks Healing Wish right here. No, or does he click? No, he clicks HP Fire, because the HP Fire was pretty obvious there. But here comes the Healing Wish now. So he thought this thing was dead, but it goes from 10% all the way back up to full. So now we have another full health Mawile once again. And King realizes this does not have the freaking SD, so he's just gonna click try attack until he dies. He could have gone for sub most likely, but he just decided to kill off the thing. Anyways, this is going to be a continuous turn of Roost plus attacking because this Mawile can't actually break the Scizor. Mawile cannot break the Scizor, and Scizor will eventually beat this 1v1. So this is gonna play on for a bit. So I'll just explain what happened in the game. This was definitely a well-played game by King because he realized that Scizor was his defensive win con to beat Mawile, because otherwise he would have lost. And so King is he gets the -1 drop, so this is gonna take even longer now because Bullet Punch doesn't break a sub anymore. So we're just gonna continue talking. I don't see what Josh should have done too much differently. King just he had good prep in this game. There was like I'm trying to think, like I guess he could. Okay, what I'm thinking is if he wouldn't have had Iron Head, he would have been able to run the Fire Fang for the Scizor, and he would have been able to do some major work, or even SD. SD would have won him the game, actually. I'm pretty sure. No, I know it would have won him the game, actually, but Josh felt like the substitute 3 attack set was the best set that he can bring, and King was sure that it was going to be Fire Fang, Play Rough, Knock, and not Iron Head, but to no avail. As a result, we're not going to go to -2 attack. Bullet Punch is not doing 14%, but he cannot set up a sub, so it is okay. So 2 more Bullet Punches are going to get the job done. Thank God, because that would have been pretty sucky if it didn't. So Mawile goes down, and that is a GG. Well played to King for sure. Well played. Now we're going to go on to the last game of the week. For all y'all who know which game hasn't played, get ready for a treat. So I'm going to pause real quick, and I'll be right back. And bada bing bada boom, we are back, and I just realized this video is going to be over an hour, so to anybody who's actually going to watch all this, I do apologize because my commentary on this was not the best in the world, and I must admit, it's still not, because my voice for some reason is just giving out on me. I don't know why. I mean, I did have Whataburger, like, I guess an hour, like, I guess at this point now, a couple hours ago, but still, it shouldn't be this bad. Anyways, we have Hunter versus Brett. Brett trying to go 1-1, and Hunter trying to go 2-0. So we have a winless, we have an 0-1 team versus 1-0. Definitely a rare skeptical to be seen for this week. I don't know what I was trying to say. Anyways, so Hunter bringing a very similar team to last time, except actually no, not at all. I think he has Rhyperior, Porygon Z, and Vullaby are all different. So the other 3 are the same. And for Brett, he brought essentially like the same exact mons, except now he has Volbeat, and I'm not sure if Tornadus was here last time. It might have been, and it might not have been. I'm not 100% certain. So anyways, let's just go into the match in 3, 2, 1, and boom. So here comes the Rotom, as he's going to lead with the Tornadus. This is going to show off U-turn, as Hunter is going to click Volt Switch, as this is going to allow the Rhyperior to come in, and I'm guessing Rhyperior is going to click the Earthquake, but Hunter's actually going to surprise me and click Stone Edge, and this takes it all the way down to 6%, which is pretty crazy. As Hunter now wants to preserve HP, so now he's going to Mega, and he's not going to HP Ice. I don't understand why he didn't Mega before, because he would have gotten a much higher attack off, but Brett does whatever he wants. Anyways, Volt Switch kills, Sceptile comes in, here comes the Tornadus, this forces out the Sceptile. Vullaby is not coming in, and Vullaby is the GOAT, so he's going to eat this move. He eats any move he goes for. As here comes Volbeat, my wife. This is going to click Tail Glow, and this is not going to click Knockoff, revealing that this was Focus Sash. Now this is going to reveal the Tailwind, as this reveals the U-turn. So it's looking pretty weird for Hunter, as here comes the most obvious baton pass in the world, and now here comes the Tentacruel as he clicks X-Scissor. So well played by Brett, reading the fact that he was going to go for a move that was definitely resisted. Now here comes Big Pex to Vullaby. This just is going to get to it KO'd. Poison didn't really matter, I don't think, but it's alright. Here comes the Scald, that kills, and here comes the Rotom. Boom, and I'm not sure if this was just a slower Tentacruel or a Scarf Rotom, but Tornadus outsped earlier, so that might be a Scarf Torn, but we don't know for sure. I don't know for sure, at least. Nobody really told me. Anyways, here comes the Earthquake, and the immune Uxie is going to be immune. So here comes the Heat Trend. This clicks U-turn. So here, this is all too reminiscent to when Brett clicked U-turn into a Hoopa Unbound and died, but he does not do that this time. He goes into the Tornadus. He's going to get a crit superpower on the Heat Trend. I don't know if that mattered. Hunter actually never told me, but it's okay. Anyways, here comes the Rhyperior. This thing is going to click Rock Polish, actually. I thought he would click Stone Edge, but you know, to no avail. It's whatever. Anyways, here comes the Rock Polish, and now here comes the Psych Up, the Psych Up Volbeat, and since this thing has speed, Brett should know that he cannot baton pass speed right now, because you cannot baton pass speed, period. If you baton pass any form of speed, it's banned. That's just obvious, right? So it's really weird because Brett he's forced to switch. He can't do anything. He can't baton pass. He has no attacking moves. So like he's either forced to just stay in here and take it to the knee, or he switches into a mon and takes a hit. But he clicks baton pass, and I'm like, oh. And there was so much chat that I actually lagged my screen up for a long time. And for a long time they discussed what to do. And they discussed giving Brett the forfeit. They discussed all these things, and Brett was like, "Oh, I shouldn't be forced to switch and let something take damage." But think about it, that was your play to begin with. Your Volbeat, you couldn't do anything unless you were 100% willing to sack your Volbeat. Then I guess I can see why that would be a bad play. But he never talked about that. Then Owen came in, he was like, "Oh, this was creative prep, quote unquote." But you know, you baton pass speed. You shouldn't be able to baton pass speed, period. I don't care how creative it is. I don't care if it's more creative than a fucking Van Gogh painting. You can't do it. You just can't do it. And this is really complicated. So this is forced to take a hit, which, I mean, I guess you could have chosen a different mon to take a hit with instead of this one, but he's forced to take it with this. Stun Edge is going to connect, and this puts this in range of a move that you'll see later. And now he's going to go into the Volbeat. And Hunter was supposed to click Rock Polish to make sure that this didn't take any damage, but he doesn't pay attention to get the crit Earthquake. They don't really discuss this too much. I don't think it really mattered in the end, but it's alright. Anyways, he clicks Rock Polish here multiple times. This is going to be an endless, you know. Now he realizes now he has to click Rock Polish after messing up. I guess he didn't read the chat or something, but it's alright. They do put that, are we good? And Brett put I think so. So I guess they're okay. They're okay. Anyways, here comes the Yuxi. Here comes the Ice Punch. Does 28%. This thing has ×2 special attack at the moment. He misses an edge, which, you know, I'm gonna put that in range of some good moves, but it's unfortunate. Anyways, here comes Deceptile. It's gonna click Exit or do 56%. Ice Punch is going to kill with a crit. That 100% matter. That's for sure. So it's 5-1 at the moment. This thing doesn't even get the special attack boost. It gets the attack boost, and this obviously is an adaptability, but he didn't have any stab spoilers, and you'll see his moveset. But it would have been kind of clutch if he got the special attack booster actually. But we do find out that he is indeed a Spadef Yuxi right here. Because for all of y'all who don't know, download will give you the attack raise of the lower defensive stat of the mon in front of you. So at this point, it's looking pretty bleak for Hunter. Brett has a Hoopa Torn, and I guess Tentacruel, but Tentacruel's paralyzed. So at this point, like, what I'm trying to say is that he has a Tornadus and a Hoopa U and a full. It shouldn't be possible for Hunter to come back, but he loves PZ. He loves it as a setup mon, and Brett might not have 100% expected this to be a setup Porygon Z, because he had already showed Rock Polish right period. So to see another agility set would be a little awkward, but as you can see, he is agility, and Brett is going to click the HP Grass and do him being ×2 special attack that will do some decent damage. Then here comes the agility. Trip realizes that this isn't good for Brett because he realizes the power of Porygon Z. He gets the confusion with the Signal Beam, but he doesn't hit himself, so it doesn't matter. So anyways, here comes the Signal Beam, and we're about to see some fun stuff, boys. Hunter realizes the Tailwind is going to come out, so he's going to click Agility once again. That way a Scarf Torn doesn't really outspeed him. He's going to Baton Pass into the Torn, and this just dies to an Ice Beam straight up, so it proves not to be Assault Vest. And Hunter was a Expert Belt modest Porygon Z, so that was pretty much guaranteed to die if he wasn't Assault Vest. Unless he had a lot of bulk, which I would imagine he didn't. And I would imagine he was more of like a more mixed set with Superpower and Hurricane, maybe. That's just my lucky guess. I've never actually asked what the set was. Anyways, here comes T-Bolt, and that Stone Edge put 100% put that in range of a T-Bolt, because if that wouldn't have happened, he would have lived T-Bowl, and unless he would have gotten parried, then the Porygon Z would have died, and they would have been game over. But then here comes the Hoopa Unbound, that will add a Signal Beam, and then Brett just gets salty and forfeits, and that's the game. So he didn't even forfeit. He just lost to inactivity. He just like left his computer, and that was it. So like he didn't even forfeit professionally. He was like, I'm out of here. Click the X button. No, just turn off my computer, and that's that. So Hunter making possibly one of the greatest comebacks of the world, and you know, I would 100% say this should be in the Hall of Fame for the IPA, but due to that turn 18 controversy, it was it's questionable, because the sweep only happened due to turn 18 because he was forced to go into Tentacruel, and he might have picked a different Pokemon and take the Stone Edge otherwise. But I don't know. It was an awkward situation, and the mods did exactly what they could. Shout out to Tristan. I think Jarrett was there. I know Matt was there. I think most of our mods were there, if not all of them. They all made sure the situation was handled as best as possible, and they did a really good job at doing so. So, you know, good job to the mods. You're an amazing group of people, and you make the league amazing. Definitely. I mean that with all my heart. Shout out to all y'all. Anyways, good game in the Hunter. He goes to 2-0. Brett goes to 0-2, which is unfortunate, but that will be the wrap up of this week. So something we do, I guess we do have a game of the week and the MVP of the week. MVP of the week by far is definitely the PZ. PZ proved to be an amazing Pokemon, and I mean I would think of a second runner up, but I didn't really think of it because Porygon Z was such a good mon this week that you can't really put any mon on the list. Porygon Z deserves it. It got number 1, and that's it. And for game of the week, I must say it's between definitely between Hunter and King's game, because it was the one that came down to the wire. And so I guess I'll name, in terms of excitement, it was definitely Hunter. So Hunter, congratulations, both your game, I guess Brett too, your game was part of game of the week, and congrats to Hunter for his Porygon Z being MVP of the week in my opinion. Unless you guys have a different opinion on what to put instead, you can let me know in the comments. So anyways, that's all for me, and hopefully this video was somewhat watchable, because I obviously was coughing and not talking very clearly, but it's all good. So I'm out of here, so au revoir and peace.